Welcome back to the LPR Trading Group YouTube channel. It's Dave again. I've got another video for you guys today. Today I want to do a trade review. I took 3 trades today. The first 2 trades were losers, so we were stuck off the open. I had one more bullet left in the tank. My rules tell me that I cannot take more than 3 consecutive losing trades in a session. If I do, one of 2 things are happening. I'm trading poorly and not seeing the market properly, or the market is just not agreeing with what I'm trying to do. Ultimately stems back to I'm not seeing the market properly. So I like to cut it at 3 losers and just live to survive and trade another day. I'm gonna pull this screen up here, and this is the P&L at the bottom. So we were stuck about 12 points. We came back after a partial to break even. We ended the day at just over 15 points. These were the 3 trades that I took on the day here. Trade 1, short. Trade 2, short. Trade 3, short. Why was I so short bias on today? Well, there's one big reason for me being short bias on the day. If we go to the footprint chart and I scroll back in time here, this price value right here is the on session low. And if you guys have been watching our videos, you know that this low right here is an unfinished auction, or as we call, a dirty low. Why is this a dirty low? There's still a lot of pressure sitting down here, a lot of negative delta. The auction has not zeroed out. I wanted the market to come back and revisit this low to clean it up. This doesn't mean the market has to come back here right away. It doesn't mean it has to come back here straight off the open, but I eventually wanted to see the market come back into this area. So if we go to our open here on our footprint chart, price opened here at 930, and the first 2 trades I took, we'll scroll over here a little bit. First trade was a scalp model trade, and this wasn't a very good trade. This is my least favorite trade of the day, actually. We have a high right here. We have sell side imbalances. We have a zeroed out auction. We do not have great failed acceptance. This is a 2 out of 3 high in my book. We get a red print close as soon as we open. I was looking to short the previous sellers, see if they could continue aggression to the downside into that 45.07 area, which was the pre-market low. Trying to get short into the 14s, target 07, stop was going to be about 2 or 3 points. That trade obviously didn't work. We drove to the upside, we popped through the high, and then we failed again. So I got stopped out here just over the high. Now for me, this high was much better. This is a 3 out of 3 high for me, okay? Failed acceptance higher, sell side imbalance, zeroed out auction, and we got a sweep over our previous high. This checks out in my book. As soon as price started driving down, we opened this print. I started selling again right into the 15s. I liked selling into the 15s because we had sellers initiating orders into the market here aggressively, as we can see by these negative deltas. So I want to resell the previous sellers. Also, point of control at the time for the on session was 45.16. So we've swept the high. We get a 3 out of 3 high. We've got point of control sitting here. I've got sellers below point of control. My whole idea on this trade was if we pop back up into these sellers, can we get a reoffer and trade lower? And this is what I was looking for. It didn't happen. Why? Because trading is not 100%. Price drove up. We closed this print very ugly. This high right here is a dirty high for me. What does that mean? Eventually, price is going to want to take out this high. At this low, this was a dirty low as well. So that's why I felt good about shorting this and possibly getting at least to this low, hopefully into the on session lows. It did not happen. I took a stop out straight over this candle, and then I waited, okay? I actually left for a little bit. I had something to do, but nonetheless, waited. Price started driving to the upside, and we can see the high of all of these prints are very aggressively being bought. Large positive deltas at the highs and closes of all these prints. Also, at the bottom, all of these prints have buy-side imbalances, and they're failing to accept price lower on the sell side. So we do not want to touch this to the short side on the way up. You can actually initiate the scalp model long on these types of plays and start buying the buyers for micro pullbacks in the marketplace or rebalances in the marketplace and a scalp leg to the upside. Now for the short that I took up here, I'll actually pull this chart up one more time. For the short that I took up in this area, still having in mind that I want the market to see that pre-market low or that on session low. What do we get here? We get a 3 out of 3 high. Okay. This is not reason to just jump in front of the trade and start shorting it. But we have sell-side imbalances, a zeroed out auction, and we have failed acceptance to the buy side. Okay? Buyers are failing to accept price higher. You notice on these prints, buyers continued to accept price higher. And as soon as we open up here and drive up, buyers are just nowhere to be found. Okay. This print turns over. We close red. This print closes red. We have a 3 out of 3 high. 3 out of 3 high. Red print. That's great. Price opens. We tick down. Is this low, clean, or dirty? It's a dirty low. If price goes up, what's our expectation? The expectation is price will revisit this low at a minimum. Price drives up. We'll get this guy out here. Price drives up off the low. I had orders out to sell here, here, and here. Okay? These were my shorts. Stop here. Price drives up, fills me, fills me, fills me. We open up the next print. We pop up again. What happens? No more buyers to be found. Sellers are actually stepping their orders down. We get a nice 2 out of 3 high. 0. Sell side imbalance. No buyers showed up, but this isn't our descending failed acceptance. So 2 out of 3 high. We're already short. Price rolls over and it starts playing to the downside. Now, in terms of targets, I had 3 targets. Pull this chart up. We're getting short up in this area, okay? We're getting short up in this area. This is target number 1, right into the 19. Target number 2 was into the 16. What was 16? We talked about it already. 16 was on session, point of control. I'll bring this chart up and show you guys. 16, on session, point of control, right here. This is where the most volume and the most time was spent in the on session. So expectation is, off of this move, the market could come back into balance, rebalance, choose a direction, either up or down. So I want to be out some into this area. The next target and the ultimate target was the target that we already talked about. We'll scroll back here. It was right here. Where are you? Right here. On session low. Dirty low. The market is going to want to clean that dirty low up. So that's where we were targeting our last piece. Now, ultimately, off this on session low, you can actually start looking for longs. If the market cleans up the on session low, holds structure, and drives to the upside, you can start looking for longs. We'll pull this back up and I'll show you. Final target right here into the 45.07, which was the on session low. I want to talk one more second about this range right here off the open. Very, very quickly. We've got this range off the open. Why was I considering shorting this? Like I said, this was not a 3 out of 3 high. This was a 2 out of 3 high. I wanted to take a shot off the open to try and short this right here. It didn't work. But what I did notice after this print got set in, I was actually very confident in this trade and it didn't work, right? I was like 80% confident that this was going to hold and drive price lower. I mean, joke was on me at that point. Why was I so confident in this trade and it didn't work? Well, I really like these negative deltas here. Larger negative deltas. This positive delta on the push up was very low. We get another negative delta here. So at this time, we don't know anything after this point. I was looking at these negative deltas here and I'm like, okay, the sell side pressure or the pressure on the bid is far more than the pressure on the offer at this point. This looks very lackluster to the upside. So as soon as we got this sweep and the buyers did not accept higher, I figured this was time to start rolling and at least revisit the pre-market low. Funny thing is, I'm going to show you guys the funny thing. This is I don't know. Let's call this bonus material here. I'm actually going to scroll through this and I'll show you guys. So this is the room here. Okay, this is the picture that I sent out, right? As this was playing out, 3 out of 3 high. Looking to sell this area, we have a ledge, which is a dirty low. The deltas are largely negative versus the positive delta. So this was looking very good for me. What I was scared of was being retail, right? sellers want to hold this. If not, the squeeze could be on. Lots of signs pointing lower, which gets me worried that too many people are going to hit the short button and the market is going to rip face. So this is one of those situations where I realized if this just looks too good in this area, maybe it's not as good as it looks, right? I still tried it. I gave it a shot, but exactly what I thought. It just looked too short, and when it looks too good, it's usually too good. And what happens? This is where we're trying to short it, right in here, I believe it was. We're trying to short this to find a move lower, and I said if we don't hold this, we're just gonna start ripping face. It's exactly what we did. So guys, listen, the video previous to this, I showed you guys exactly how to set up the footprint charts that I use here. I showed you guys where to get them. I told you guys who to credit for these footprint charts because I did not build this footprint chart out. I simply changed some colors to make it easier on my eyes, but the bones of this operation here was built by Casino Trader. He's fantastic. Check out the previous video that was posted on our channel. And if you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comment section. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I will get back to every single one of your comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys on the charts. Trade safe. Cheers.